Hello, everyone. This is Omar from the Third Rail. I hope everybody's doing fine. I'm using my avatar. Israel has said that they have started the invasion of Lebanon about 10 minutes ago. The Israeli forces have entered Lebanese territory, or what they call commandos, whatever they want to call them. So these are live videos from Lebanon. So we have a live feed from Lebanon, hoping that we're gonna see some stuff. What's going on? Israel has been on a terror on a terror move against the whole region. Israel, as you know, last week murdered. What you can say is that this was all planned. This is nothing is out of the ordinary here. That after 10 months or 11 months of death and destruction to the Gaza, under the pretext of revenge for the Jews who were attacked, or the Israelis who were attacked on October 7th. At that time, we knew about 1,200 Israelis were killed, 800 civilians. But many reports say that the majority were killed by Israeli weaponry. Because the Israeli went wild, they just went wild. They used the hellfire, because when you see the scene of the death and destruction that took place, you know that now we're talking about Lebanon. Now, everybody in 2006, a lot of you guys were not born yet. There was a war between Hezbollah and Israel, and Hezbollah was caught. Israel was caught by surprise at the training, at the weaponry that Hezbollah had amassed. That when they went in, they went blindly, and their tanks were destroyed. They were destroyed off the shore of Lebanon. The Israeli soldiers refused to fight. The infantry refused to fight face to face with Hezbollah. That the Israeli military had to arrest them because they refused, because they were coming out of tunnels, they were coming out of there. So what happened since 2006, Israel took it seriously. They've been infiltrating the group, the intelligence service infiltrated them, while Hezbollah was buying rockets and weaponry and things of that nature and getting ready for, part two of the war. But they were not paying to their security issues. They were infiltrated. I mean, they're so infiltrated, it's almost unbelievable that you're able, as an organization, to buy pages from an unknown entity and have them blow up in your members' pockets and hands, whatever you want to call it. And I think that the Israeli intelligence services with the United States, there are 5 intelligence services against Hezbollah. All Western intelligence work for the Israeli Mossad and help them with everything they need help on. Whether it's weapons, money, intelligence service, whatever you wanted, they're going to give it to them. You understand? Because there's no way, they can't say no. Because peace is not an option for Israel. You can end all the stuff, by just ending the occupation. Everybody goes home. The Palestinians have their country. You have yours, and just build on that, and you have economic interaction, and everybody's happy. But no, we want the land, but we have an issue with the people in them. So Hezbollah has been infiltrated since 2006, and it's so unbelievable how deep. I think they are still infiltrated, that they knew where their leaders were. I mean, if you know, 2 weeks ago, if you remember, that Israel used 100 planes to attack an imminent, so-called imminent, they called it an imminent rocket attack from Lebanon. I said, why are you using 100 planes? Unless they had intelligence, and they destroyed a lot of those rocket launchers. Because the next day, Israel ordered its military to go into the West Bank. I'm like, if you're worried about Lebanon, why are you starting problem inside the West Bank? Because they knew that Hezbollah was compromised by the intelligence services. To pick them like cherries from, I mean, since the beginning of the 11-month issue with Lebanon, Israel, every time Hezbollah sends rockets, they don't do anything. They blow up in the air. You might as well throw rocks. And Israel will actually target a leader of a faction or of a unit and actually kill them. So Hezbollah, or Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed, I think 3 days ago, should have had an idea that there's something wrong. If these commando leaders are getting killed one by one, and they're getting them whatever they want to in their apartments, outside the apartments, while they're driving, they were infiltrated. It has to be by people on the ground. It cannot be through satellite. It has to be by people who are within the organizations of Hezbollah. Now, I want you to understand what my position is about Hezbollah and all that stuff. Before Gaza, before the genocide, I had issues with Hezbollah as an entity. Now, my reason is I believe in institutions. I went to school in the West. I was raised in the West. I believe in institution. And I had this idea that Hezbollah cannot be a state within a state, because you have two states. Because when you have a country, the state has the monopoly on violence, right? They have the guns. But in Lebanon, Hezbollah had the bigger gun. So they were never able to put a government together. Lebanon would be dragged into border strife every time that they didn't need to, and they don't want to, and they cannot afford to. But what happened is Hezbollah had a makeover when they came to the rescue of the Palestinian Gaza, because nobody was saying anything. The whole world was just quiet. Hezbollah's demand was stop the genocide, ceasefire, the hostages back home, everybody goes to their house, and that's it. Israel has an agenda. Israel had with Netanyahu since day one. If you remember, we had the negotiation with Biden about the Iranian nuclear deal, and he sabotaged it and stopped it. We don't talk about it no more because Netanyahu wants to send America to war with Iran next. And it is going to be a war, whether we like it or not, because we in the United States don't have any as citizens, we don't have any power over our governments. We don't have any power of our foreign policy. We have sent more than 40,000 troops for what? There's 40,000 American troops already there. We have sent carriers. We send squadrons of planes from the F-22. Everything we already have there. It's like we're preparing for a regional war with Iran. Now, a lot of people are saying now Iran is scared. Look, they should have came to the rescue of Hezbollah. No, Iran is a state that's 3,000 years old. They're not going to just get into a situation where they ends up badly for them and maybe unstabilize their country. Maybe the United States and their allies will actually bomb its nuclear sites, nuclear reactor sites. Let me put it that way. So Iran is not a state of stupidity. They are people. The Persians are a people of patience, of great patience. They don't need to respond. For what? Why should they respond? I mean, they could give weapons to them as they've been doing, but to respond or to do something that's stupid, to respond is to endanger their country and to fall into the trap of Netanyahu, who wants a war. Netanyahu spoke in front of Congress in 2002. He said, well, we started with Iraq, then we hit Afghanistan. He had a list. He had a grocery list for the United States to do. You understand what I'm saying here? So the problem is now the Israeli army has entered Lebanon. They're going to enter commandos to feel. I know they've already been bombing a lot of sites to soften the resistance, or to soften the Hezbollah strength and personnel who are in charge of the weapons, whatever you want to call it. Now they're going to enter it just to test the ground to see how far they're going to get. I don't see what the reasoning is for them to invade unless they want to create an area where they're going to call it a security zone like they did and just start the settlement there. Because, Israel is not led by a democracy like people want to lie to you. They are led by a Messianic cult who believe that God promised this land to them, not only from the river to the sea, but part of Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and even Turkey. They have a shopping list there. So the whole idea, we don't know what remains of Hezbollah's chain of command. You see, you could have the guns, you could have the weapons, you could have all the stuff you want, but if you don't have the leadership and the commandos and the leaders, you just have people, foot soldiers running around, doing nothing, blinded, because they don't have the experience, or they don't have the know-how. They don't know where the weapons are stocked, where they don't know how to. You understand? It's like having a captain in a team if you're playing baseball, basketball, whatever you want to call. So far, Israel has said they entered, so we're waiting to see. We have not heard. This is a live feed from South Lebanon. Now, let me go back to what I was saying before. I never liked Hezbollah. I'm not even Lebanese. For the idea is that you cannot have a state within a state. You understand what I'm saying here? So Lebanon is a very fragile state. The way the colonialists left it is, they gave the presidency to the Christians, which has no power. They gave the prime ministry post to the Sunni Muslim, which has all the power. And they gave the Speaker of the House or the Speaker of Parliament to the Shiite in the 1930s when they left. But they were always, the Christians migrated, and they are small. They're about 30% or 20% of the population now. I mean, if they had stayed, never went to South America or went to the United States, they would have been maybe the majority. Now, the whole idea is Hezbollah was operating outside this formula. Hezbollah was an entity to itself. It was its own state. It had its own communications. It had its own weapon. It had more weapons than Lebanon. It had its own foreign policy. It had its own domestic policies. So what you had was a state within a state. So they was holding them like hostage. They were holding Lebanon hostage. Now, not to give you credit to Israel. Israel has no right to bomb South Lebanon like they do right now. This is what I have an issue with. When I talk to people, especially on YouTube, like that guy who talks like a horse. What's his name? Lona Box. Fucking guys that talks like a horse. And and Destiny, the other cockhole, and all the Brianna Wu, because we don't know what she is. So the whole idea is that they have this scenario. Like, for example, in the United States, let's say how we view crime. Let's say a black person mugs a white lady in a subway and hits her over the head. eyewitness news, 6 o'clock, a lady was attacked, blah, blah, blah. Everybody will be upset. The whole, we will be on our arms. How could a lady not be safe in a subway station? How could she get robbed? But somebody on Wall Street could steal $100 million and we don't know what, we don't talk about it. You see, that's what's going on inside the Middle East. Israel will demolish a whole city and turn it to ashes. That's called self-defense. But if an idiot from Hamas launches an attack on October 7th, and they got, majority of them got burned to death by the Israeli hellfire weapons with the hostages they wanted to take, then that is hard. You see, Piers Morgan, the most terrible terrorist strike in a century, in history, since the Holocaust. My friend, the Palestinians have been in a Holocaust since the Holocaust for 76 years. They've been killed. Their children have been devastated. Their men have been raped in jail. Their women. You understand? Yeah, hello. Yeah. You understand? So this is all to say. Yes. I'm going to speak in Arabic for 1 second because I have some Arabic people. Ya hala marhaba ahlan. Rabbi يحفظ النشيب إن شاء الله بهذا الدين. Inshallah. Thank you. Well, the whole idea is that so you saw the example I gave you. That's how we live. Like 6 o'clock news. A black man has mugged a lady and took $50 and pushed her against the wall. We all go crazy. Oh my gosh, how could this have happened? Oh my gosh. Whoa. And then you have somebody like Madoff who stole like $10 billion, robbed people. Say this is the same situation we have in Lebanon. This is the same shit. In the Middle East. Israeli will kill. They have killed 1,100 Lebanese in 1 week. Mostly women and children and civilians. That doesn't count against Israel. You will have Piers Morgan goes, do you condemn what happened to Lebanon? Is that a good English accent? Do you condemn what happened to South Lebanon? You don't have that because Arabs and Muslims, they have no human value. You understand? They are nothing but what do you call they have no human value. You understand? Because it is what it is. A lot of people don't have value in third world countries. You could kill 1,000, 2,000. Nobody says anything. But God forbid a couple of hundreds die from the other side. Then the whole thing. For example, the hostages that Hamas took. You have 100? They took about 250. They brought back 100. 40 of them have been killed. By hello Ibrahim. How are you, Ibrahim? By Israeli indiscriminate bombing. They've just been killing them. It's okay. We could kill our own. Even American hostages. If Israel kills their own, it's okay. But you have to look at, and there are about 10,000 Palestinians who should be considered hostages because they were just taken off the street by the Israeli military, men, women, and children. Imagine having a man getting raped. I don't know what I'm supposed to say that word on YouTube. Fuck YouTube, man. We're all adults. We can't say words like that. Is raped and a phone is inserted into his rectum that he dies. They cannot even retrieve it. They have to take it out by surgery on camera. And our esteemed media, our media doesn't even report it. But when those first hostages were taken, we had posters in Manhattan, in the United States, and all these big cities, posters of these hostages in the United States. Why would you have them here? Because it's a game. They don't give a damn about their own hostages. Netanyahu is on a mission. His mission is to destroy Iran's nuclear reactors. That's it. And he doesn't care how it happened. He doesn't care if and he knows he cannot do it on his own. He knows that the United States has to go into a war and gets his children killed. That's all it is. You understand? That's what they do. The United States is like that mule that works hard for Israel, no matter what. We have a president who's fucking half senile, doesn't know where he's at. I mean, do we have any leadership in Washington? Do you really want to ask yourself that sometime? We are right now the weakest moment in our history where there's a power vacuum in Washington. What did I do? Did I mess that up? Let me put that back on. I don't know why I did that. Sorry. Let me put that back. I didn't go on with my, what do you call it, with my, let me put the sound. Okay. All right. So, yes, we're back. We're back. We're back. So, where was I, man? My fucking memory's like that. I was hoping. Let me try to get some stuff here. What I was saying that we don't have no leadership in Washington. It's when you have an 81-year-old senile walking around, doesn't know where he's at, then it's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? It's a problem because Israel is taking advantage of that vacuum. We don't have. You got that guy Jake Sullivan, that little kid who's pretending to be our national security, whatever. I call him the kid and the other stuff. Anyway, we're waiting to see. We haven't heard any sounds, but when you go to Al Jazeera, things are going nuts. This is the nut job today. Okay.
On the other side of the world, in the Middle East, it's our understanding.
I'm going to stick with this.
What's that?
I'm going to stick with this subject, but go ahead.
Just the fact that Israel may be now launching a limited operation into Lebanon. Are you aware of that? Are you comfortable with their plans?
I'm more aware than you might know, and I'm comfortable with them stopping. We should have a ceasefire now. Thank you.
And you know what? I'm 100% sure you're not aware. You don't even know where you are. You just said that because you don't want people to think you're senile. You don't know what Israel is doing. And you have no power over Israel. You've been trying to get a ceasefire for the last year. Now let's listen to this fucking war criminal here. Okay.
Leaders of Iran. Yet at this pivotal moment.
Okay, now this is a message to Iran.
I want to address you, the people of Iran. I want to do so directly, without filters, without middlemen. Every day, you see a regime that subjugates you, make fiery speeches about defending Lebanon, defending Gaza. Yet every day, that regime plunges our region deeper into darkness and deeper into war. Every day, their puppets are eliminated. Ask Muhammad Def. Ask Nasrallah. There is nowhere in the Middle East Israel cannot reach. There's nowhere we will not go to protect our people and protect our country. With every passing moment, the regime is bringing you, the noble Persian people, closer to the abyss. The vast majority of Iranians know their regime doesn't care a whit about them.
Yeah.
If it did care, if it cared about you, it would stop wasting billions of dollars on futile wars across the Middle East. It would start improving your lives. Imagine if all the vast money the regime wasted on nuclear weapons and foreign wars were invested in your children's education, in improving your health care, in building your nation's infrastructure, water, sewage, all the other things that you need. Imagine that. But you know one simple thing. Iran's tyrants don't care about your future, but you do. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think.
Okay.
Everything will be different.
All right.
Our two ancient peoples, the Jewish people and the Persian people, will finally be at peace. Our two countries.
Well, actually, you're from Europe. You're not from there. You're not from the region. Your name is Molinsky. It's not even Netanyahu. You were raised in Philadelphia. You went to school in Philadelphia. You forfeited your American citizenship twice. Once you had it, you got rid of it. Then when you saw you had no job in Israel, you went and got your citizenship. Then you gave it back again. Okay? That you have nothing in common with the Persians in Iran.
Israel and Iran will be at peace. Right. When that day comes, the terror network that the regime built in 5 continents will be bankrupt, dismantled. Iran will thrive as never before. Global investment, massive tourism, brilliant technological innovation based on the tremendous talents that exist inside Iran. Doesn't that sound better than endless poverty, repression, and war? From Qom to Isfahan, from Shiraz to Tabriz, there are tens of millions of good.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Filthy animal. Get the fuck out of here. Filthy subhuman. Oh, you'll be happy and we will love you. Abdullah, Abda. What's up? How you doing, guys? Yeah, hello, marhaba. Sorry, guys. Anyway, we're still waiting. I mean, I didn't hear no bombs, man. What's going on over here? If I go to Al Jazeera, I don't know if you guys, I'm not supposed to, but let me go see what's going on in Al Jazeera here to give you an idea. Because Al Jazeera will give you a strike faster than you could say, what? You know, that's why people don't play their videos. It's a shame. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go, guys. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we talk about it later. Inshallah. Okay, guys.